Why do you log onto social media every single day, watch everyone else's lives unfold, yet never post a single thing of your own? You scroll quietly, you observe deeply, you see the forced smiles and the staged moments of happiness. You have this sharp ability to read the room, to see right through the digital masks people wear. But when it comes to your own life, your profile remains completely silent. No daily updates, no curated highlights. People often assume you are just shy or maybe disconnected from the world. They confuse your silence with emptiness. But they are completely wrong. By the end of this video, you are going to discover the exact psychological reason behind your silence. I promise you, you will finally understand why your choice to remain invisible has nothing to do with being antisocial and everything to do with a rare psychological trait that most people do not possess. We will uncover why your quietness is actually a hidden strength and a quiet rebellion against a culture obsessed with attention. What you are doing is not hiding. And to truly understand why you do this, we first have to look at the invisible thing you are desperately trying to protect. Think about the last time you experienced something truly beautiful. Maybe it was a quiet morning, a sudden burst of laughter, or a heavy realization that brought tears to your eyes. For most people, the immediate reflex is to capture it, write a clever caption, and share it with the world. But you do not do that. You let the moment happen, completely unrecorded. In psychology, there is a concept called psychological ownership. It is that profound feeling that an experience, a thought, or a memory belongs deeply and exclusively to you. But the moment you post it online, something shifts. That ownership slowly fades. The memory is no longer just yours. It becomes shared property, placed on a massive digital stage, completely open to the interpretations, misunderstandings, and the quiet judgment of people who do not truly know you. You do not stay silent because you have nothing to share. You stay silent because you are fiercely guarding your own life. You want your moments to remain untouchable, private, and pure. You know that once a sacred memory is consumed by an audience, it loses its raw magic. So, you keep it safe within yourself. But protecting your inner world is only the very first layer of your silence. What happens when you turn that quiet, observant focus outward, watching everyone else perform? When you are no longer busy trying to prove your existence online, something fascinating happens to your perception. You become the silent observer. You scroll through the endless stream of updates, not with jealousy or FOMO, but with a quiet, almost piercing clarity. Psychologists have found that people who refrain from posting often score much higher on traits like introspection and emotional independence. You are not easily swayed by the trap of social comparison. While everyone else is busy building their digital highlight reels, you are quietly reading the reality hiding right behind them. You see a photo of a smiling couple and instantly recognize the subtle tension in their posture. You read a paragraph detailing a massive success and hear the desperate need for external validation screaming between the lines. You witness people auditioning for belonging every single day. You see how every caption, every photo, and every status update is often just a subtle way of asking, "Am I enough? Do you approve of me?" And because you see this so clearly, you simply choose not to participate in the performance. You realize that most of what is shared online is not actually connection. It is identity crafting. You scroll, you nod, you might even ache for the quiet struggles you see hiding beneath the filters, but you rarely engage. You choose stillness instead of spectacle. But this quietness is not always born from a place of peace. Sometimes, this choice to disappear comes from a much heavier, more exhausting place. For many, the decision to step away from posting does not start with a sudden revelation. It starts with a quiet, creeping sense of exhaustion. Psychologists call it self-presentational pressure. It is that constant, draining awareness that you are being perceived, judged, and consumed by others. Maybe there was a time when you did share your life. You posted the beautiful sunsets, the personal achievements, the happy moments. Every time you posted, your brain received a tiny hit of validation. But over time, that digital reward system turned into an invisible cage. One day, you looked at a perfect photo you just took, and instead of joy, you felt an overwhelming sense of emptiness. You realized that instead of actually experiencing the moment, you were mentally editing it for an audience. You were no longer living your life. You were just managing the public relations of it. You were performing your happiness just to prove to everyone else that you were okay. That realization is deeply exhausting. The constant need to equate external validation with your internal value becomes too heavy to carry. So you simply stopped. You made no dramatic announcement. You just quietly faded from the feed out of pure self-preservation. You realized you do not owe the world a performance of your life. But here is the most beautiful irony about disappearing from the digital stage. When you stop chasing the illusion of being seen by everyone, you finally discover who is actually looking. Social media was designed to connect us. Yet, ironically, it often leaves people feeling more isolated than ever. When you choose not to post, you step out of that illusion and stop chasing digital closeness. You begin to experience something much more rare: actual intimacy. Without the constant updates, you start noticing something profoundly beautiful. You begin to see who actually checks in on you without an algorithm reminding them to. You learn who remembers you without needing a notification. When you strip away the digital noise, the relationships that remain are the ones that are truly solid. They do not need the proof of a public comment or a shared tag. They exist in the quiet. You find immense comfort in unshared moments. For you, a real connection is not measured in comments or likes. It is found in shared silence, in eyes meeting, and in laughter that doesn't need witnesses. You let life unfold organically, without the desperate urge to turn it into content. You build relationships that do not need proof. You are fully alive, inside the moment, instead of completely outside it. But this brings us to the final piece of the puzzle. If you are not performing, and you are not seeking validation from a crowd, what does this quiet invisibility actually leave you with? There will be moments when you wonder if your silence makes you invisible. You might watch everyone else broadcasting their progress and momentarily fear that you are falling behind. You might even hear that quiet societal whisper telling you that if you did not post it, it did not really happen. But the truth is, the experiences that shape you the most will never make it to a feed. Your quiet growth, your deepest heartbreaks, your private victories, and your unseen moments of peace, they live purely in memory, not in media. And that is exactly where they belong. Your worth does not disappear just because nobody is looking. It remains steady, completely independent of algorithms, comments, or external validation. This is what real confidence looks like. It is not the loud, desperate declaration of who you are online, but the calm, unshakable assurance of who you are offline. If this video made you feel truly understood, please hit the subscribe button right now. Join this space dedicated to those who feel deeply, observe quietly, and value authenticity over attention. You are not alone in the way you experience the world, and I want you to be a part of this journey. Never forget that you are not meant to be a performance. You are meant to be a person. And sometimes, the truest, most beautiful expression of who you are is silence. I will see you in the next video. Until then, keep living your beautiful, unseen life.